Welcome to Drysen Learns Things, the marketing podcast where we talk to different marketing people, hear their stories, share their successes, learn if it worked or not, and just generally give you ideas, tips, and inspiration to make your podcast, or your marketing efforts all that much more better. As you notice, I am still solo right now. That's because currently I am actually at Camp MoGraph in Chicago, and so I recorded a bunch of these in advance, and because this is the new show, I don't have a super deep repertoire of people to talk to yet. So if you want to be on the show, hit me up. Let me know. Today, I thought I would talk a little bit about something I'm very passionate about, which is turning people from I have never heard of you into I am a super fan of your brand. And one thing specifically that I learned very early in my marketing career is you have to make people feel special and make sure that they trust in you, specifically you. So how did I learn this lesson? In high school, I started my very first business, which was a wedding entertainment company. I was a DJ. And over time, I joined forces with my wife, and we combined to become 3-Chord Weddings, DJ, and photography. And we were a part of that company for like 12, 13 years. It was a minute, and we loved it. But eventually, I got burned out and had to step away and try. I wanted to try new things. So But one thing we learned is that from the time that a couple will sign a contract until the day of the event, could be anywhere from 6 months, a year, year and a half, even 2 years at some points. And in that time frame, there is a lot of opportunity to either build trust or lose it. A lot of the times, we were working on things behind the scenes that a bride or groom would have no idea we're working on. This could be little things like, hey, we're programming in a new light show so that way when you have your first dance, it's not going to be crazy colors like I have in my background here, and you're not going to have, purple on your face for your first dance. Fun fact, I still use some of my old DJ lights up there. But we're going to have a nice whitewash scene, so it'll be a nice, good-looking photo for your first dance. Things like that we're really taking intention. But we just let people know that this is happening behind the scenes, or maybe a little bit more leveled up. They signed the contract. We would send a questionnaire out. We would learn every single detail we possibly could. Who's your caterer? Who's the person giving the blessing over the meal? Who's going to be XYZ, you name it. We try to learn everything. And then we try to have conversations with everyone. Like, hey, catering company, just confirming that you're going to be here at this time. I'd like to start the dance at this time. Do you think it's enough time to get everyone through for food, for meal? Oh, it's going to be quicker? Okay, I got to move my timelines up to make sure that, we do more dance time or, try to avoid those weird lulls, those kind of things. And then just letting the couple know that, hey, we had this conversation with this person, yada, yada, yada. That helps build trust. And then from there, we just try to personalize things to say, hey, how can we make this more special? And so every single client we worked with, we had this onboarding meeting where we would sit down and learn and kind of get their ideas and tips and tricks. And then we just kind of suggest ideas like, oh, hey, have you thought about doing, hey, for the father-daughter dance, what if we recorded a love note to your dad and we embed it into the song? So the chorus ends, the music goes to more instrumental mode, your voice comes up and says, hey, Dad, I love you since the one time as a little girl we did XYZ thing. And then it goes back into the music, and then boom. That's going to be a major, emotional impact. Not only was it a great opportunity for us to upsell, but it gave our couples an idea how to make this thing even more their own. We just became the guide or the mentor, giving them the tools, the ideas, the expertise, the knowledge to make their story, their night, their wedding as magical as we possibly could. Now, granted, I will admit we had an unfair advantage because weddings are naturally a very emotional thing. So anytime that you can build trust or build emotion, people want to talk more about it and just brag about it a little bit more, which does spark another conversation where when early in the process, before we kind of figured out how to build these little touch points and how to build trust throughout the entire relationship time working together, we would get 5-star reviews all the time. DJ showed up, did his job. Photographer showed up, did what we expected. But the reviews were very, very basic and very boring. And once we started trying to do more trust-building exercises like suggesting content or letting people know we're working behind the scenes, our reviews changed from a sentence to full-on paragraphs about how much people loved working with us, how amazing it was, what we did for them. They were really trying to brag and tell their stories. So as a idea or suggestion to check out your content to see if you're doing a good job building great advocates of your brand or super fans of your brand is to go look at your reviews. Are they just one little sentence saying, did a good job, would hire again? Or is it a full-on storybook where people are trying to set the scene and tell the story and tell the tale about why they're so excited to work with you? If they're not like that, I would highly recommend trying to figure out what touchpoint pieces of content you can put in place to help make that come to fruition. One thing we'd also do is I would record after someone would reach out, I'll record a quick little video to say, hey, thanks so much for reaching out to us. Call you by your first name, reiterate your wedding date. Here's some ideas I have for you. Let's meet and talk. And again, that little touchpoint piece of content to say, oh, Drysen took time randomly out of his day to make a custom video talking to me and addressing me by name. That's cool. And so it just, again, helped inspire trust that we truly care, we're truly passionate, and we work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just trying to be like, we had this whole thing like it's a sham. Ha, 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 ha. No, we genuinely cared about doing a good job, and we wanted to go above and beyond for people. But then we just try to find little ways to make people be of service to others, even if it meant going outside of our normal job, day-to-day job. Again, for example, I was the DJ. I was there to entertain. I was there to help make people have fun. But I also wanted to make sure they had good wedding photos because that was part of our company. So one thing I would do is after dinner, I would just go clear the plates from the table. A little thing. But it made the wedding photos, their toast photos, their speech photos, not have clutter and dirty plates in front of them. Something that nobody really thought about, but it was a little touch point that, oh, my goodness, Drysen, you're even taking my garbage away from me? That's so nice. I wasn't expecting that. Again, little things took a minute out of my crazy schedule to make them feel just 1% more special. And it gave them a better product in the end. Now, the other side about that, and again, we had an unfair advantage, was in the wedding world, you were giving somebody the photos after the fact, their wedding photos. So people naturally want to brag. They naturally want to tag their photographer. So they're naturally tagging our business in them. But anytime you can give people content, any kind of content that makes them want to brag about you, want to talk about you, that's a win. So rather than just saying, hey, would you mind doing a testimonial? How did we do for you? Maybe consider making a mini documentary about the problem they had, what their business is, why they do what they do, and then just talk about the problem that was preventing them from doing the best job possible that just happened to be what your services are. So if you're a construction company, for example, hey, company X, what do you do for your customers? What do you do for your clients? And why can't you do that anymore? Oh, you ran out of space? Oh, how did upgrading and building a new building space help you do better things for your clients? Who helped you out of the building? Oh, it was us? Oh, what do you know? But that way, you're making content that they want to share with their audience because it shows how they help their customers. And then it just happens to mention the fact that you solved their problem. And their peers are going to see that, their competitors are going to see that, and they're going to be like, oh, okay, we know who can do good building work now. So anyway, that is my daily tip for today. Again, if you want to be on the show, please, by all means, reach out to me at Drysen@madebythings.com. Today's episode is sponsored by the Discovery Workshop. If you are looking for a content resource, somebody to come inside and really collaborate with your internal marketing department, that's what we do. We ask questions to figure out who's going to be in charge of this thing. Where are the shortcomings in your marketing funnel, in your marketing plan? We suggest content to figure out how to accomplish your goals and then give you an a la carte style menu so you know exactly what we can do for you and you can choose which pieces of content you want to make or don't. Again, that's our time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye. Drysen Learns Things is brought to you by the Discovery Workshop from Made by Things. If you are looking for a content partner to help you brainstorm, set goals, and create content that truly resonates with your audience, check us out at madebythings.com/discovery. Discovery.